This is the State Capitol Building in Mississippi. Now, this one's strange because it's built in Jackson, for one. Jackson, Mississippi, at the time, has less than 10,000 people. They say that this thing took 2 years to build. So a 2-year build time, and in a city of less than 10,000 people to build a state capitol. Right away, the warning bells should be going off. Yeah, the subject of the state capitals is certainly worth a deep dive. And this one, in particular, along with the Pennsylvania State Capitol, has a very short window of a build time and deserves further scrutiny. So we're looking at it a little closer in this one. First thing I notice is the architect. So the state in 1900 puts out a competition and takes in a good number of architects' plans before they decide on this one. So the successful architect is Theodore Link, who was responsible for many old world structures, as you can see here. Right away, I think we're looking at a cover story. So these are all old world structures, in my opinion. So they say this is built on the site of the old penitentiary in Jackson, completed in 28 months at a cost of just over $1 million, we'll be told. And I don't know. What do you think? Can we really believe that this was built in 2 years? We have a renovation that went on in 1979 lasting 3 years here. So the renovation lasted longer, took a longer time to construct than the building itself. I don't know. You can ask yourself why do they put these stories out? First of all, I don't think they want us looking at these very hard. Explanations like, well, in a town of less than 10,000 people, they obviously hired out the work from all over the state, since it's the state capital. But as I always like to say, you can look at any city, even town at that time, and you'll find all of these structures going up in all these small towns. You've got post offices, you've got theaters, you've got courthouses, of course, city halls, penitentiaries, asylums. We've got all of these things going up relatively close to each other in time. So it's very difficult for us to make that allowance, I think, when we look at the narrative. And it really is a spectacular state capitol. So I wanted to highlight it in this video. And we'll take a look at the interior too. I'd like to look at the building material as well. You can tell some of this, what kind of renovations may have been done. You can see the walls, I'm sure, were painted and spruced up in a lot of places. But we're looking at marble columns. And once we get past the portraits, you're going to find that this type of construction, again, is very difficult to pin down in a very short window of time in that 2-year period. And we have, of course, the depiction of the horse and buggies to help cement the narrative. Indiana limestone, base and stairs are Georgia granite, we're told. Now, to mill up this type of stuff in the modern day, again, we need all this fancy equipment. We need diamond blades, and we need saws that cut with water to avoid the dust. There's no real thought to how any of these products were manufactured. When you look at early photographs, you realize that these buildings don't look new at the time. They look like they've been dusted off for the most part. Inside the Capitol, they say we've got 10 different types of marble. Now that to me sounds quite frivolous. From other states and countries. And 8 types of art marble, known as scagliola. So this Theodore Link obviously used his know-how to make this happen, I guess we're told. He also used electric lighting when designing the Capitol, even though it was very new technology at the time. And we're looking at, that looks like wrought iron, painted iron, I would think. This is a call to all trades people out there, people that worked in the industry, have cut stone, installed stone. The amount of time and labor and the need for precision. Again, it's very difficult to imagine this structure going up in that very short window of time, a 2-year period. I certainly encourage you to investigate your state capitals as well, because I think you'll find that the bottom falls out of most of the story the closer you look at it. The main rotunda is located on the 2nd floor with walls of Italian white marble, trimmed with Belgian black marble, cast iron balustrades with architectural motifs encircling the space. Incredible. The Lady of Justice is seen above each of the top arches. Just frivolous. Again, in a town of less than 10,000 people. I'll let you take in a little bit more of this before we move on to the next section. And there's the lighting, all a part of the original design. This is the Hercules monument in Kassel, Germany. It was brought to my attention by a viewer. I'd never heard of it before. And you can see here on Google Earth, it's sitting here on top of this ridge that comes down into the city of Kassel. And sitting on top of this octagon and pyramid shaped structure is a copper statue of Hercules. And they say this was built in the early 1700s. It's a very strange story. A few things jumped out at me about this area. So we're told construction on this Berg Park here begins in 1696, and it's completed in 1717, we'll be told. And if we get in a little closer to the monument, you can see we have that octagonal shape. We have an opening on the inside there, and you have a water feature that runs down this hill. I mean, it's pretty high tech for the early 1700s. As we follow this through the city, you can see this direct straight line, and it runs through this complex, which we'll be taking a look at as well. This is Kassel. There's another castle here as well we'll have a look at. But you can see that straight line runs right through the city and becomes part of the roadways of the city. But it's a straight shot right through. I would like to thank viewer Alexander for drawing my attention to this. Take this opportunity as well to let you know, the viewer, if you know of some place you'd like me to take a closer look at, I'd be happy to do that and feature it in my videos. So here we're looking up at the monument. You can see we have all sorts of Greek mythology woven into the narrative here. Kind of strange again for early 1700s Germany. But what jumped out at me is the rock formations that surround it and are a part of the construction as well, and gets into the whole meltology aspect of the old world research. And the Wikipedia narrative tells us that this is made of tuff, which is a soft stone with good workability, they say, but it's not very durable as far as weather and frost erosion is concerned. And I think that's the way they're trying to explain the look that we're seeing here. And so we'll just go through some of the visuals, and you can see here the rockwork. Again, they're telling us early 1700s. This all looks blended in together. It almost looks like you would, how you would do a concrete facade meant to look like rock in the modern day. It's very strange construction. Here we're looking at one of the castles lower down from the monument, but you see similar effects of what they'll tell us is erosion. Possibly we're looking at some sort of heat damage event going on. And this is the castle right down in line with the Hercules monument that I showed you. And there's a good look right up, and you can see here down at the lake level again. You can see all of the vertical stones, almost looking like the basalt formations you see in places like the Giant's Causeway. The vertical stonework not making a lot of sense. You've got horizontal, then we're going to vertical. Again, looking very blended. And the water features too for that early time period. This gets back to some of the hypothesizing that goes on about why they were able to construct these water features at that early time period, but no plumbing or any of that going on in the buildings. Here we look at some of the landscaping surrounding this area, and you can see the evidence of the same structure in the landscape itself. And there you can see that straight shot. There's the castle I was just showing you, and then it goes straight through the city. This gives you a good look at, so are we supposed to assume that this is natural and they built on top of it? Or will they tell us that this is also part of the structure? And there's that water feature, apparently built in 1714. 250 meter long stone structure, shaped like a staircase. It's 1714. You have to wonder why on earth, right? Apparently it has a series of pressure valves, pipes, and the locks open manually, and they do it several times a year for people to see. It's obviously a tourist attraction here in the modern day, but here we see more of that questionable geology surrounding the area. The Hercules monument, built in the early 1700s, Kassel, Germany. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is the Imperial Institute, located in London, England. We're told first established in 1887 as a result of the Colonial and Indian Exhibition of 1886. And we're told that the exhibition had the objective of stimulating commerce and strengthening bonds of union now existing in every portion of Her Majesty's empire. So supposedly the exhibition was all built in the Indian style. So sparked by the Queen's Golden Jubilee, this thing gets underway in 1887. They complete it in 1894. We have the Queen involved with the laying of the cornerstone, and there's a depiction of that. And we also have her opening the Institute in 1894. So this is a short video on one of the rare videos we have of Queen Victoria from that era. And I've hypothesized many times on this channel that the Victorian era, led by the British colonial empire, is symbolically the victory over the old world and the setting of the new narrative for the new world. And this would fall right into that timeline. And if you're wondering what happened to this structure, well, they tore most of it down in the 60s to make way for a new college. There's a new Imperial College surrounding it, but they did leave what they call the Queen's Tower standing after pressure, we're told, from the Royal Fine Arts Commission to preserve some of the structure. And you can see here part of the demolition process going on. So again, you have to ask yourself, why are they tearing these things down? Why are they replacing them with this type of structure, which looks like it would hold less people than the original structure itself? Looking very much like what you might consider to be something out of a Harry Potter movie, or novel, if you will. There are a few drawings and depictions of the interior, not a lot, which again is curious since this thing did last into the 60s. I always like to say, why wouldn't they document extensively these structures? We have a few rooms, very strange ceiling on this one, that do come down through time. This is a depiction of the opening ceremonies, we are told, so this would be a brand new structure at the time the photograph is taken. Something curious about that whole time frame here, especially in that London area with the British Royals. Magnificent looking structure. And we have the coat of arms for the Imperial College. And this aerial view gives us a good before and after of the surrounding area. So magnificent architecture going on in London. Much of it has been demolished, just like we see in many other locations. And a shot here from the early ceremonies taking place in the structure, and there she is again, the Victorian Victor. Victoria the Victorian Victor. I just wanted to share this with you. The Imperial Institute of London in Kensington area of London. The Queen's Lawn is what we're looking at down here, is what's left of the rest of the structure. Now, did they leave this up as an homage to the Queen, or as a reminder to us of what they've done to the old world?